What is going on, Ranger fans? Welcome to another live edition of 407 Rangers. I am your host, Raymond Tapia. Make sure you leave a like, subscribe, and a comment. Turn on your notifications every time I'm about to upload a post, a recap, or a highlight where I go live. So, the Rangers somehow, some way, got themselves a W. Now, I'm not going to lie to y'all. Y'all know how I felt. I was very iffy about how they were going to play and go about it for the start of the year. So this is definitely a good start, but I'm not fully convinced yet. Did they play much better defense? Absolutely, but there's still a couple of flaws going on with them. I mean, the biggest shocker for me, if you ask me, Ranger fans, was the fact that they were able to control the neutral zone. Because you guys know that was my biggest pet peeve all damn season long with this team. They had a big problem trying to stop the neutral zone, and they couldn't for their life if it depended on it. But for some odd reason, they turned the switch on tonight, and they somehow found a way to control the neutral zone. So with Keandre Miller, okay, he had it's very tough to say that he had a great game. He had more like a decent game because he definitely still had his horrible choice moments. You guys know him. He's infamous for that. But he did play okay-ish. I ain't going to sit here and say he played horrible and didn't do nothing. But he did his part, just had a couple of decision-making moments where you're just like, man, typical Keandre Miller. And then how about Mika Zibanejad? Mika Zibanejad, we all know he had a December to not remember. That's for damn sure, man. Because, woof, when I tell you that was some wolf shit we were seeing all winter long, man, that shit was. But he somehow started the game off with the quick little fishbowl goal and got himself his 700 point. Hopefully that makes milestone Mika get going. I mean, you hit 2 milestones. At this point, we don't want to hear any more complaints because here's the funny part too. The young core tonight was actually the starting line for the Rangers, and Mika Zibanejad, if I'm not mistaken, was in the second line. So we'd even see Mika Zibanejad start, which is a shocker because like usually we would see him somehow some point start, but I guess they're putting Kreider and Mika in the second line, and Trocheck, Panarin, and Laffy for the third as always. But other than that, Brett Berard, how about him, man? He had his first Madison Square Garden goal, so that's always special for a rookie to do that, hit your first home goal, because he's been hitting goals on the road. It was just his first goal at the Garden. So Brett Berard, let me tell you, that's been one of the best pickups for the New York Rangers, because my goodness, if they didn't have these young pieces that they have, where would they be? Oh my, what? They would even have the record they have now if they didn't have the young core. We're not going to see it act like the veterans are doing. No. What saved the veterans this season was the younger pieces picking up scraps for all the crap going on with them. Because you guys all know it was a dumpster fire for December with this veteran core. But even some of them are playing with light, which was absolutely shocking. So this was definitely one of their other best hockeys they played compared to the Panthers loss, because at least this time they got a win out of this one instead of losing. So at this point, a win's a win, and we'll definitely take it because we know we need any win we can get at this point. But the Rangers have to win 4 more games straight. Well, realistically, they got to win 3 more now because they just gained 2 more points because they're 7 points away from not being able to even fight for a playoff or wild card spot. So with this tough schedule they have to win the rest of the games for the rest of the week. And they're going to be all over the place because I know Saturday they play the Capitals, and then Sunday they're in Chicago, so it's back-to-back road games. And then who else they play? They play the Stars at home Tuesday, so that's literally like 3 games in a row, nonstop. So they have to somehow, some way, pull it off. I mean, the Capitals and Blackhawks already beaten them. So if the Blackhawks beat them, they're going to get swept by the Blackhawks, which is gross to even say, because Lord, I don't even know how they allowed the Blackhawks to win. But the Capitals, They are still good, and Ovechkin is back, so that's going to probably be a tough one. And the Dallas Stars, obviously, they're going to come with a vengeance in the Garden because they didn't like how the Rangers beat them at home. So we don't even know how they're going to play against them. I mean, they're playing much better than December for damn sure. And one night, they definitely looked a lot better than that whole 3-10 slump they had going on in December. So I'll definitely take it. But like I said, guys, we have to see them win 4 or 5 more games in a row just to even stay in it. But they can probably do it if they keep the consistency like they had tonight. They just have to try to keep the puck. Once again, it's another broken record segment I'm saying right here because they did everything else right, but they had a hard time keeping the puck possessions in their blue zone because the Bruins at one point had way more puck possession minutes than the Rangers, and hell, the Bruins outshot the Rangers. And the only thing that saved the Rangers, we're going to be so realistic, is Jonathan Quick. He damn near had a shutout, only allowed 1 goal, and he had 3 saves in one play. So it's like, bro, if it wasn't for Jonathan Quick, the Bruins could have easily turned this game around, and they could have probably stole the show over there. But Jonathan Quick, hats off to him, because let me tell you, he was on one. I don't know what he ate, drank, but it was definitely going to the right places at the right time, whatever he did, because, man, he saved the shit out of us tonight. But the Bruins, Eric Lindholm, he hit the goal. And Jeremy Swayman, we're not going to sit here and act like he had a horrendous goaltending tonight because he had a 926 save percentage. So the Bruins played good. They just couldn't make their shots. It wasn't like they were playing ass. Because if you watch how they were playing, the whole time they were just outplaying the Rangers in every form. They just couldn't make their shots on goal. That was the only difference with the Boston Bruins in this night. It may sound crazy you say, Raven, why are you saying the Bruins played better when they lost? It's because they did. If you watch the highlights and you see how they were playing, they technically did. The Rangers just got those 2 first period goals, and Jonathan Quick was stealing the show for the rest of the night. That's what kept them in it. Other than that, if they had not hit those 2 first-period goals, who knows how it would have turned out. But I'm not going to sit here and question it. I'm still very happy that they at least got this win because we would have probably been pulling our heads out of our asses once again with this BS if they had lost. So I'm glad that the Rangers realized the fans don't want another headache or heartache. They don't want to feel stressed out when they're about to play. If they can keep this going, they can actually shed light and hope and make a Ranger fan feel like, oh, well, now I have a reason to watch their games. Because December was super unwatchable. I know I keep saying December a lot, guys, but that's how ridiculous it was. Like, but like I said, they have to keep going though. It's not this win is not enough. It didn't win us a Stanley Cup. It didn't get us to the playoffs. It didn't do anything just yet. They have to, like I said, go on a 10, 15 game winning streak just to even give us hope. Sorry. So there's no telling how they play for the next 3 games. They're definitely going to come with more fire because if Laviolette definitely keeps the line that he has now, the Rangers will definitely look much more promising than they did in December. Will they be able to get into the wild card playoff spot? It's going to be tough because they're facing two teams that they couldn't beat, and they've only beaten one of those teams out of those 3 games. So for all we know, they could lose 3 in a row, but I don't think they're going to want to lose anymore. How they played in the Garden, you got to make sure that's going to keep going in the next 3 games because anything can happen. Anything. Am I convinced? I won't say I'm fully convinced. I'll probably say like a baby speck of it because, like I said, I need to see a lot more from them to feel like, okay, you are forgiven for what you did in December. But for that to happen, like I said, they have to do the unthinkable to make me not even think about what they did. So I don't know. And other than that, I don't even really have much to say, Ranger fans. I mean, Igor Shesterkin, I know he's injured, but if you ask me how I feel about Igor Shesterkin, yes, I know he got his $11.5 million contract extension. Cool. But me personally, the way he's been playing this season, I don't care if he has good statistics. They might just have to put him at a backup. And just let Jonathan Quick and Dylan Garan steal the show. Because if Igor had played tonight, there's no way in hell Rangers are winning that. It does not matter how elite of a goaltender Igor Shesterkin is. Yes, I personally like Igor myself. I know he has his moments. He has some great highlights, butterfly saves, windmills, blah, blah, blah. But the way he's been going about it this season, it's very, very mistrusting on him giving you a win now. Yeah, he'll give you some cool saves, but it's not going to win you games. That's what's been happening with Igor Shesterkin lately. And like I said, Jonathan Quick is the older veteran. He's almost 40 or 39, if I'm not mistaken, and he's outplaying Igor, which is absolutely absurd because you would think, right, if you're making almost $12 million a year, wouldn't you want to outplay the veteran? I mean, Jonathan Quick has a lot more in his belt. He has 3 Stanley Cups, and he's been around the rink a lot longer than Igor Shesterkin. So he kind of has that fountain of youth. That's what we're going to call it with Jonathan Quick. But when Igor comes back, we don't know if he's going to come with that same energy Jonathan Quick has been bringing. Because if you ask me, Igor, like I said, Igor, every time he's on the net, it's a 50-50. I'm not even 50. I'll say like 70-30 chance. There's a 30% chance you might get a win and a 70% chance you might get a loss out of Igor this year. That's how I personally feel about Igor. And I know it's not all the games are not on him. We all know the defense was atrocious before. But Igor has to stop allowing the simple, easy goals to go in. Because I get it, he's asking for people to do their part, help him cover up the net and make sure the defense is there and ready at all times. But excuse me. But there's certain moments where you gotta just do your part. Like I know he's had those moments where he's like, okay, I'm gonna steal the show and I'm gonna remind everybody why I get talked about as the best goaltender in the NHL, despite how my team is playing right now. That's what Igor needs to start coming at now. He needs to stop trying to do too much. Because that's why Igor Shesterkin hasn't been the same compared to last year or the years prior, things of that nature. Because Igor's overdoing himself and he's trying to act like he wants to show the world why he's a $12 million a year type of goalie, but the way he's been playing, it does not seem like it. Can he bounce back? Huge possibility. I mean, I seen it last year where he was benched for like a whole month and then he just started going crazy and just went extra ham in the postseason. So it can be done. It's just up to Peter Laviolette if he's going to do that again and put him in the bench and let him clear his head out and get himself together. So that's completely up to him. They could possibly do it, make him a second, third string goalie, depending on how bad the injury was. I know it's an upper body injury, but there's no telling how serious the injury is. We don't know if they're going to put him right into the freaking net when he gets back from injury. They'll probably try to give him a slow start, or just say, all right, you're back, here you go. Let's get you right back in there and do what you got to do. So that's about it, Ranger fans. I mean, that's all I got for you tonight. Like I said, I am happy. I'm not gonna sit here and complain and go on a full-blown angry rant or frustration because the win is the win, but we need 3 more to have some type of hope. So let's pray that they're gonna keep this up for the rest of the season because they need it. They need it really bad. So y'all have a wonderful night, Ranger fans. Hopefully y'all start your week right. They start their week off right. And let's start off the 2025 with this grind, man. Let's keep it going. So Let's go Rangers for the first time ever.